I'll tell you one thing I'm getting absolutely fed up with is these bloody anti-vaxxers. I've got no problem with anti-vaxxers. Let them believe and do what they want. I've got no problem with that. I'm a great one for freedom. I'm a great one who believes in freedom of choice for the individual. But I am sick and tired of the arrogance and the nonsense and so much crap being thrown at us by these so-called anti-vaxxers. A lot of them are, to me, as pointless as the old street corner preacher. I found them tiresome, I found them arrogant, and I found them, in fact, bloody rude. And I'm finding the anti-vaxxers exactly the same. So why don't they just carry on, do their own thing, but leave us out of their argument, their discussions, because I'm over them. I am completely over this constant, you are wrong, I am right attitude. I'm behind a microphone. Yes, I can give that impression that I am right and you are wrong. But stuff it all. Every time someone makes a mention about vaccinations, these anti-vaxxers come in like a pack of hungry dogs, and quite honestly, I don't read it anymore, and I know most people just turn their back on it because they are sick and tired of the arrogance, the nastiness, the rudeness, and in fact, in a lot of cases, when you start delving what some of these anti-vaxxers tell you, straight out stupidity. But at any rate, it is important to stop every once in a while and take a stock of things, to lay down some breadcrumbs to refer back to when someone asks, how did we end up here? And this is a very interesting article written by Peter Van Buren. In many ways, the story is the same story. The message of 9/11 was give up freedom for safety, trust the government, and treat your neighbours as potential threats. Now, 20 years later, you realise you went along with it because you were scared. Even though the real threat was minimal, the message of COVID is to give up more freedom for safety, trust the government, and treat your neighbours as potential threats. Fear is infectious, and now we are here. As the young David Pretorius said early in the Iraq War, tell me how this ends. What is the COVID endgame? Victory was once defined as making testing available to all, then lockdowns to free up ventilators, then vaccinations. No one knows anymore what the goal really is, but some sort of return to zero infections has about as much chance as a democratic Afghanistan. What started as 2 weeks to flatten out the curve has materialised into 18 months of lockdown, mask mandates, and now vax passports. Most of what has already happened was dismissed as conspiracy theories less than a year ago. Our society, our work, our education, shopping, entertainment and socialisation has been fundamentally changed by decree. Emergency powers taken by government, not given by the people. We're still somewhat free to move around, though flights may soon be only for the vaccinated. Hawaii was previously closed its borders, then opened them only to people who got vaxxed or tested. It became the first state to prohibit Americans from visiting a part of America. Hawaii also became the first state to arrest American citizens for travelling inside America. 2 men are currently locked up for trying to enter the state unvaxxed and untested. Their sentence was 10 days in jail, quarantine at gunpoint. The understood right of Americans to travel freely among the states has stood the test of time. It stood the test of wartime and economic crisis, only to stumble over a virus. Such horizontal federalism threatens to stop the Constitution at certain state borders. Hawaii is just one state. The new Biden travel regulations, however, will soon require Americans returning from abroad to undergo some sort of vaccine testing regime. For the first time, Americans will need to demonstrate something other than citizenship to return to their own country. Biden's plan tasks the airlines with determining overseas who can actually get on an aeroplane to America, citizen or not. The move is a critical departure. The right to travel has long been understood as one of the Fifth Amendment liberties of which a citizen cannot be deprived without due process. Those who ask to see the science behind these decrees are shunned and they're mocked. Why 6 feet of social distancing? Not 4 or 12 feet? No one knows. Why doesn't the size of the room and its airflow matter? Can't talk about that. Or they don't want to talk about the science. Acts of violence connected with masks and duo-taping passengers on aeroplanes are now considered means that are justified by the ends, and these are growing. Are masks effective? It doesn't matter, because it's never just about how effective masks are against the virus. Everyone knows they're not effective. What matters is that masks are very effective as an entry-level test of compliance, then later as a symbol, just like armbands and the tattoo on the wrist. Something of the good has left us. We leave no space now for people who choose to get vaccinated while at the same time worry about the increasing government control. Many people opposed to masks are not anti-science, but anti-politically charged public health policies. The same thing can be either a life-saving medicine or an instrument of social control depending on how it is used. When rational thinking is frowned upon and everything becomes fodder for the frightened zealots, the pitchforks are certainly not far away. If you've ever been conned, you know the feeling, and you should have that feeling right now. That's where we are right now, being conned. And this has all happened, yes? This all happened, and it took only months without one shot being fired. And why does it continue? Is because the little kittens out there, those who want to be completely under the control of government, go off and wear that piece of rag over their face, which it doesn't mean a thing, doesn't help, and does not prevent the spread of this new variant of COVID-19. Ideas dismissed as conspiracy theories only months ago in our policy. The most important question is always why. Why? Why are the governments doing this? And if you look at the governments that are doing this, if you have a second chance, you would never ever re-elect them. So the question remains, for those who continue wearing these masks, the mandate that you must wear these masks, why? And where does it leave you? Where does it leave you? Those who wear those masks in the realm of common sense, decency, and may even show those who are wearing the masks have never ever done any research into why they are in fact wearing that mask. Just always be aware that those masks are available to us people in the street. Those masks really have absolutely no medical or any benefit whatsoever to prevent the spread of COVID-19 and particularly this new variant.